To the infield. Wow.
Fastball, grounded right side and foul. Well, maybe the belief is that Seton Hall would not be able to get around on the fastball of Lopez, and with the right-handed hitter up, you move Thomas in a little bit. But you're right, Bill, he's playing awfully shallow. Did not play last week, sat out due to disciplinary reasons. Carini, a big surprise this year. A second baseman this season, converted from third to second during American Legion ball last year. Swung on and missed. Malave held on to it. He's going to make the throw. I'm not sure it's necessary. I guess it did bounce a little bit, so it was a necessary throw. That's the third out of the inning. We're scoreless after one.
Hi, I'm Rich Backer. I'm the Executive Director of the National Youth Sports Coaches Association of New Jersey, a nonprofit program that educates volunteer coaches on how to make the youth sports experience a positive one for all children. Did you know that 70 to 80% of the youth sports participants drop out by the age of 13? They quit mainly because of too much stress and pressure to win. Quite often they turn to alcohol and drugs to relieve the stress. A good coach, a trained coach, can prevent this. Contact your local recreation department or youth league representative to see if they're involved in the NYSCA's Say Yes to Better Sports for Kids and Say No to Drugs program. If they aren't, contact me at 1-908-527-2547.
Or write NYSCA, 240 West Warren Street, Washington, New Jersey, 07882. Matt Laughlin and Bill Bromberg back at Doc Geltz Field. Cloudy day, but a nice crowd on hand for this 60th annual GNT Championship. First crown was won back in 1933 by Irvington. They shut out Kearney 1-0.
Day's actually getting better. The rain has passed.
Yep.
Clouds have lifted. We're going to get this one in.
There have been 14 shutouts in GNT history. And who knows? With the two big right-handers on the mound, we might see another one. Pete Malave leads things off. He was at the bat when Rawa was thrown out to end the first inning.
Now, in the first game these two teams played, Stevens did not pitch. So Eastside has not seen him prior.
Last year, however, they did face each other. And Jerry Battolini does believe they met in Legion ball. Malave swings through the ball. It's 2-2. Malave, a heavy hitter at 388. 5 home runs. Chomps it foul. It stays at 2-2. Mike Gonzalez, Isaac Carrero to follow here in the top half of the second inning. The crowd continues to build on this breezy and cool afternoon. Look at the two guys who will be up against Stevens following Malave. Malave stays alive as he rips a ball foul behind the plate. Jerry Battolini feels that Malave is hands down the best catcher in the county.
I have to agree with him. Of the catchers that I've seen this year.
Fastball, and the count is full at 3-2. And a walk. The first of the ball game issued by Mike Stevens. Just the 10th walk that Stevens has given up this year. And Malave, a bit of a threat to go. Generally, you don't expect the cleanup hitter and a catcher to be much of a base-stealing threat, but he has stolen 7 bases in 11 tries. Here's Mike Gonzalez, the first baseman, batting .308 with 17 runs batted in. Hard bunt back to Stevens. They've got to play at second. Fanning's return throw not in time. Bill, I was about to say that we'll get an idea of what Jerry Battolini thinks about this game early, whether or not he has his 5th hitter trying to sacrifice a runner into scoring position. Looked like he was trying to push it past Stevens, but he bunted it just too hard, and an easy play. Malave at second.
Remember last week's game, Matt? In the early innings, Seton Hall was throwing the ball all over the place. They're infield. The first efforts today have been perfect.
So with one down, here's Carrero, who fouls one right back toward us. So you did a good job getting out of the way.
I'm going to get out of your lap now.
And it's in our raincoat.
I got it. Here's a souvenir of the GNT, Matt.
Here we go. I'm not giving it back either.
No, we're keeping it.
Fouled off of the shin guards of Chris Cousin. So Carrero, a dangerous at bat here.
Do you notice what I did?
0-2, and he almost took out 3 people.
I grabbed you on that. Did you notice that? As it was heading for me, I grabbed you.
You
were my shield.
Exactly. You were not getting me out of the way, but you were actually directing me in front of you. Here's the 0-2 forthcoming to Isaac Carrero. Missing outside, it's 1-2. Carrero was penciled in as the starting right fielder, but as the teams were loosening up before today's game, Carrero's arm was giving him some problems, so they made him the DH today and put Valentin in right field. Toward right field, Zidzunis makes the play. A chance to double up Gonzalez, and they do. So Seton Hall ends the inning on a double play, and they've ended the first 2 innings on strong defensive efforts. We're scoreless after 1.5.
Hi everyone, I'm Rob Matola. Join me every Thursday and Friday night at 7:30 for the fastest half hour on television. The Suburban High School Sports Report, highlights and interviews from the past week's action and previews of what's on the way. The Suburban High School Sports Report, Thursdays and Fridays at 7:30, only on Suburban Cablevision TV 3.
Rhett Zidzunis making the play in right field and then firing the strike to first baseman Chris Cavallo to double up Mike Gonzalez. And we're showing it again, Bill, because if you saw the game last week, you know that Zidzunis had some problems in left field. And after last week's semifinal game against Caldwell, Mike Shepard Jr. stayed and hit a lot of fly balls, a lot of fungos to Zidzunis out in left field, worked with them all week. Moved him to right today, but he has handled 2 chances actually today with no problem. And Seton Hall, as I mentioned, has ended the first 2 at-bats for Eastside on strong defensive plays, and they certainly have gained some momentum here early on.
They look very sharp right now.
Chris Cavallo, Rhett Zidzunis, and Mike Fanning to face Sandy Lopez as we go to the bottom half of the second inning.
Give you a little, excuse me, Matt. Give you a little inner byplay. Coach Shepard was saying this morning in their practice, they had the pitching machine out, cranked up to full volume, and they were doing a lot of bunting. So let's keep an eye out for that.
Cavallo batting .319 this year. 30 runs batted in, and he takes the first pitch for a strike. Seton Hall will always have high statistics and a lot of RBIs because the park they play in, Verducci Field, is a hitter's paradise. Hard hit ball down the line. This should be 2. Tawan Thomas out there fields it. Cavallo headed for second. Here's the throw. It's going to be close, but Cavallo is in there ahead of the play.
Well, the question was, can Seton Hall pull Sandy Lopez's fastball? The answer by Cavallo is yes, sir, right down the line, inside the bag by, maybe a foot. Thomas comes over very quickly because if this ball gets past him, it could be an inside the Parker. Now he makes a very strong throw back to second base, and Cavallo just does. He can see the throw coming in. He just does beat it.
So a leadoff runner on for Seton Hall. He's in scoring position, and the breaking pitch drops in there for a strike to Rhett Zidzunis.
And he starts him off with a curveball, interestingly enough. What did Lopez say to us? No one's been able to hit his fastball all year.
Seton Hall's done it today. Zidzunis batting .250, takes the fastball for a call, strike 2. Well, Lopez, if he's a pitcher, if he's a thinker out there, he's not just a right arm, he'll start to make adjustments on how he pitches. 14 runs batted in for Zydzunas. Okay. Thank you, Bill, for interrupting my talk. Anyway, here's a ground ball to second. Casimiro's play to first. That moves Cavallo over to third. At any rate, if he's not just the right arm, Lopez will change things around, and also what will happen is he benefits from the fact that Malave is a veteran behind the plate calling the pitches.
So this worked as well as a sacrifice, and I was kind of interested to see if Mike Shepard would move the runner on a sacrifice, but by moving the ground ball to second base, Cavallo moves to third base. Number 8 batter up.
And a good piece of hitting by Zydzunas. Faking a squeeze and taking the pitch for a strike is Mike Fanning. Fanning, the junior shortstop, batting .258 with 11 runs batted in. Fanning also a pitcher for this club. Ground ball will drive home a run. Pacheco's long throw high, and Fanning on with an infield single. An RBI for Mike Fanning, his 12th of the year, and Seton Hall leads 1-0.
Pacheco at short was pulled a little bit toward the middle, and this ball, as you can see, is hitting the hole. Got the backhand it. Plants. The throw is a little bit high, but this runner would have, if anyone, would have been safe regardless. 1-0.
Bunting the ball is Chris Calcayo. Malave plays it to first in time. Moving down to second is Mike Fanning. So the designated hitter, Chris Calcayo, the junior, moves Fanning into scoring position, but there's 2 down.
This will go in the books as a sacrifice, but I'm not so sure he was sacrificing. It looked like he was trying to push down the third base line for a hit.
Well, Calcayo was in the game at the DH spot because of injuries suffered earlier to Rocco Fornaro and also to Gary Cordovano. Cordovano has an injured ankle, and Fornaro, who's also a DH, has injured a shoulder. Dillon lined out to center field to start the ball game as we take a look at Mike Fanning down at second base. Dillon, the leadoff hitter in the lineup. Seton Hall leading 1-0. We're in the bottom half of the second inning. And the count's 0-2. Check that. Count 1-2 to George Dillon. Checking the signs from Mike Shepard. Seton Hall with 4 hits in the ball game. Breaking pitch swung on and missed. Malave has to make the play to first. He does, and that'll end the inning. But Seton Hall scores a run. They do it on 2 hits. No errors, 1 left on. After 2, it's the Pirates 1, the Red Raiders 0.
Suburban Cablevision TV3, your local programming channel. Far and away the national leader in awards for cable excellence, TV3 brings your interest to the screen. Well known for our coverage of high school athletics all year round, TV3 is also the arts, parades, documentaries,
Specifically, Second Chances looks at the Juvenile Awareness Program at East Jersey State Prison.
interesting people,
Mary Salmon has a hobby that has taken her all over the continent.
shows with real impact in your neighborhood. Local programs of excellence, only on Suburban Cablevision TV3.
We're not too far from Cedar Grove. In fact, Verona and Cedar Grove border each other, and a bunch of Cedar Grove Panthers out to watch this game. Of course, they were in the championship last year when they lost 7-6 to Livingston. And Cedar Grove having a good year this year at 18-5, and they are in the semifinal round of the Group 1 playoffs. We're in the top half of the third inning. Jack Casimiro leading things off, and I turn things over to Bill Bromberg.
And just like that, ground ball to first. Cavallo takes unassisted, and just one away. Third inning, and the Pirates lead 1-0. 4 hits off of Lopez they have so far. East side has just one base hit off of Mike Stevens. Danny Valentin, the batter, the right fielder. 296 with the 12 RBIs. Fastball is high, ball 1. There's a strike. Valentin was not in the original lineup. Carrero was the original right fielder. But when his arm came up a little sore, Carrero went into the DH spot, and Valentin was put into right field. 2-1. I'm sure at the beginning of the game, Mike Stevens said, "Give me a run, guys." Well, he's gotten his run, and now he has to make it stand. 2-2. Fastball call, strike 3. Second strikeout for Mike Stevens.
So Stevens comes back nicely against Valentin. We'll take a look at it. Big right-hander Mike Stevens. A lot of power, a lot of leg drive. Ball ran away a little bit from Valentin.
Tawan Thomas, the batter, at 279 with the 4 runs batted in. Stevens working quickly and getting ahead of the hitters.
Yes,
Strike 1.
That's a big change, as you pointed out earlier, Bill, from last week. And again, the weather had something to do with that. But he's just a workhorse now, and we'll see what Eastside can do to disrupt his tempo. Thomas stepping out here.
0-2 pitch. Will he waste one? Yep. Made him skip rope. Thomas, the number 9 hitter. Eastside has sent the minimum number of batters to the plate so far. Down the right field line, but foul. Eastside has had 2 base runners. A single, which was thrown out stealing, and a walk, which wound up doubled up. So they have not stranded a runner as yet. 1-2 pitch to Thomas. Call, strike 3. Third strikeout of the game and second of the inning for Mike Stevens. A very, very strong inning for him. At the end of 2.5 innings, it's Seton Hall 1 and Eastside nothing.
The TV3 sports team provides you with the best coverage of the local sports scene. Whether it's getting the story, calling the game, or reporting the scores, the TV3 sports team has it covered. From high school, college, and the professional ranks, the team is on top of it. With shows like the Suburban High School Sports Report, our Game of the Week, and Sports Talk, the TV3 sports team is the best source around.
Back at Doc Eltz Field, it's the 60th annual Greater Newark Tournament championship game. Number 1 seeded Newark Eastside against number 2 seeded Seton Hall Prep, and Seton Hall leads 1-0 for the first 2.5 innings. Sandy Lopez has only thrown 4 pitches that have not been strikes. That's amazing through the first 2 innings. For the Pirates, it'll be their number 2, 3, and 4 batters, Schwarzbeck, Stevens, and Kuzin. Mike Shepard Jr. Still a very young coach and has already over 100 career victories. His father, of course, the head coach at Seton Hall University, is here. Schwarzbeck, the leadoff batter, and he singled over shortstop his first at-bat. There's a call, strike 1. So far, at least, the Pirates have been able to get around on Lopez's fastball. There's the curve, though, 1-1.
I feel I saw John Fiore just a moment ago. Plays for West Essex. And the Knights in the semifinal round of Group 3 action.
Ground ball hard hit the freshman third baseman guy Rodriguez, who stays with it very nicely, thank you, and makes the play, 1 out. Rodriguez way in on the grass, Matt, made a nice play out of this.
Yeah, and the kind of play where if you're an East Side supporter, you say, boy, that freshman's real good. And if you're a Seton Hall supporter, you go, how about that gift? But the freshman did make a nice play on it. Tough hop.
Pitcher Mike Stevens, single to right. Starts him with a curveball. Strike one. Yeah, we saw Fiore yesterday as the Knights won the North 2 Group 3 championship in a very exciting win over Morris Knowles. Another curveball hit hard to right center field. Valentin, the right fielder's over, but he can't get it, and it gets by him. Stevens will get 2 out of this one. Kind of surprising. Valentin looked like he had it lined up, but the ball just got past him.
Yeah, a lot of room out there, though, in right center field. And a bit of a surprise. Good job by Stevens going down to take the curveball opposite way. You can see how much room was out there. And it's interesting because if you think that Lopez is going to be able to get his fastball by Seton Hall, you think that the center fielder, Rawa, would have shaded a little bit more toward right field. But there was a big gap out there, and a double for Mike Stevens.
5th hit for the Pirates. 2nd for Stevens. Chris Cousin, the catcher, and the cleanup hitter. They're waiting here for Stevens to put the jacket on.
Rain starting to fall once again. More of a mist and a drizzle, but the umbrellas now coming out.
Now, Eastside was putting a play on. They expect Cousin to bunt, and the shortstop, Pacheco, was running over to cover third. Coach Mike Stevens, or Mike Shepard, saw that. And if you had the bunt on, you might very quickly take it off. Cousin doesn't show any kind of bunt. It's ball 1. You may hear the rain as it hits our microphone. 1-0 pitch, ground ball to short. The only play will be to first. And they get him. A fine play by shortstop Carlos Pacheco deep in the hole. And Gonzalez at first takes the bounce throw and gets him.
Pacheco's had a couple of tough plays today and has made them all. He's a good one, only a sophomore. Watch this. He's got a range to his right, backhands it. He's got to plant himself, and it's a one-hopper and handled nicely by Gonzalez.
On the play, Stevens goes to third for Tom Carini, who struck out. Chopper again to Pacheco. The throw to first in time, and so the double goes a wasted. For Seton Hall in the third, no runs, 1 hit, 1 man left on. At the end of 3 full innings, Seton Hall 1 and Eastside nothing.
Play ball. Yes, it's time to check out TV3's Spring 92 calendar. See the best in area high school sports like baseball, softball,
And now the number 9 batter. The ball rolls away. Here comes the runner down the line. The play to the plate, and she is out.
lacrosse,
Westell turns, shoots, and fires high. It's an 8-4 ball game. Ted Westell with his 2nd goal of the game.
tennis,
Nice volley.
and track and field. All right here on TV3, your award-winning local programming channel. Don't miss a hit, goal, or winner from opening day through the playoff race to the All-Star games. A full spring of exciting events, only on Suburban Cablevision TV3.
It has won the 59th annual Greater Newark.
That's a familiar face, Mac.
Yeah, Mike Shepard Sr., the head coach at Seton Hall University, here today to watch his son play, and actually his alma mater, Seton Hall Prep graduate, and played for Owen T. Carroll at Seton Hall University.
A lot of coaches here today watching the ball game.
Yeah, saw Bill Lampeter earlier, the veteran, former Livingston coach.
There he is.
Yeah, there's Billy. Charlie Honecker, former Caldwell coach, now assistant over at Montclair State. Norm Schoenig, the Red Hawks head coach.
Second go around through the lineup for each side. Sandy Lopez fly to right to start the game, as the minimum 9 batters have faced Mike Stevens so far. Joe Walsh,
Seton Hall Prep athletic director, underneath an umbrella. He's got a double rooting interest today. His son was called up last week, actually, up from the JV to be a member of the varsity. They expanded the roster, and so he's rooting for his school, and he's rooting for his son's team. Last week I was talking to Joe at the tail end of that Caldwell game, and Joe's a Caldwell resident, and he was saying, Caldwell was winning at the time before Seton Hall had the rally.
Fanning, the shortstop, the throws low and skips away past Cavallo into dead ball area, and Lopez will get second on the throwing error by Mike Fanning. And Matt mentioned the rain has picked up. The ball may have been wet coming up off the infield grass.
Yeah, might have been just a little bit. And Fanning not happy with himself as he turns toward left field. Let's see if this gives a little bit of a lift to east side. No problem handling it. And the ball just in the dirt, and Cavallo couldn't handle the throw, and it goes into dead ball territory. Anyway, just to complete the story, Joe's a resident of Caldwell, and he said it's not going to be easy by the pool this summer if we lose. So as Seton Hall pulled the 4-run rally for the win, I said, enjoy the pool.
Slight delay while Sandy Lopez dons the jacket down at second. First time Eastside has had a runner as far as second. Carlos Pacheco struck out 0 for 1. Time is called as no pitch.